Hey everyone, appreciate you guys all being here at USA Crypto Group for this AMA session. Today we have a project called VAST Token. VAST Token is set out to revolutionize the way you invest in real estate and to help shape and accelerate the global transition to tokenizations of real estate markets. With that, I'd like to welcome AMR and Xavier to USA Crypto Group. Great to see you guys. If you guys can start out introducing yourself, give us some insights about your team and your background.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mike, for having us here. Tillman, would you like to start with yourself?
Yeah, of course. So thanks for hosting us and great to be on board. I'm Tillman. I've been in tech, banking, and trading for a very long time. I worked for big tech companies and I worked for an investment bank for like 18 years in total. And from my background, I built complex solutions for banks and make them very, very easy and simple from a user perspective. And this is also the reason why I came into the project, because I felt we need simple, elegant solutions for everyday things that take a little bit longer than buying a house, buying a property, buying some real estate. So this is what we've been working on for a while.
Great. Now a little bit about myself. I've been working, my background is of banking. I was working with retail, private banking for the last, I would say, 22 years. So I'm not that young in the space. So I was very much involved in typical finance, portfolio management, different kind of investments. And as I was doing this in the Americas and Asia and in Europe, where actually I'm residing in. For the last, I would say, 4 years, I was involved with crypto, with blockchain project, and I started by actually forming the whole ecosystem for crypto exchanges. So me and my team will be responsible for obtaining the licenses for crypto exchange, setting up their card programs, opening the bank accounts. So the whole ecosystem for the exchange to actually be up and running. And for a year and a half, I was in the listing department for one of the top exchanges. So I really wanted to get a good deep view about how the exchanges work. So I got myself into it. And when I would say with VAST being for a little bit over 3 months, because one of my passions is real estate. I like investing in real estate. It's a fantastic opportunity for investment. It should belong to every portfolio. So I had myself the idea of mixing blockchain with real estate. So when I met the guys from VAST, then I thought it was it's a perfect thing. It's a perfect fit, right? Because those are two things I'm very passionate about: real estate and blockchain. So there we started. I'm responsible for the marketing and the sales of the project. And that's a little bit about us. So Ken, should we take it on from here?
Yeah. Well, appreciate the introduction there, guys. Yeah, I had a chance to look through your team, and I got to say, you guys have put together a very, very experienced team. I think collectively, you guys bring a lot of value into the project, your expertise collectively. Now, Tillman, what position do you guys play in this project?
Tillman, I think we can't hear you.
I think this should be better now, right? Sorry. We are the founding team. We've put this project together, and maybe by way of background, the other partner's been in real estate for around 18 years, commercial real estate, building, construction, renting, and so on. And we often felt that there's a bit of a disconnect in how easy the access is going to be to real estate. And this is why we're bringing this to market.
Now, Tillman, you are the co-founder and the CFO, correct? Of the
Correct.
project. Okay.
Yes.
And Xavier, what is your responsibility? What is your role in the project mainly? I know you spoke on marketing as your background in real estate, but what is your specific role in this project?
Well, I'll be the person you would call like a CMO. So I'll be dedicated to make all the marketing projects, the ambassador programs, to coordinate with PR, the releases that we're gonna make. So basically, oversee how the sales are performing and implement all the marketing strategies for the dedicated target audience that we have.
Awesome. And I know that your team, the rest of your team is not here today, but I would encourage you guys to look through the team that they have assembled vast experience in the field. And like I always say, I always invest in the team, not necessarily sometimes just the idea only, but the team is more important to me. And I think you guys did a heck of a job putting the team together. So with that, you guys are very ambitious. I mean, apparently you guys trying to change the way people invest in real estate, right? Trying to bring real estate into the blockchain. So obviously, Tillman and Xavier, you guys saw some problems and some efficiency that's going on in the real world. What are those problems that you guys see, and how are you guys trying to fix those problems and efficiencies?
Maybe if I can start off, and thank you for the question. The main problem that we saw was basically access. If you're trying to access real estate, it might be easier in the US, but in the rest of the world, it might be a 2 or 3 month process. You have down payments, you have contracts, you have legal, you have land registry, you have various agencies and agents involved that cost a lot of time and cost a lot of money. And even then, you only have access to, let's say, the lower end of the market. You don't really have access to the commercial real estate market. And that is a problem that we are solving with what we are offering, and making it easier for people to get access to this massive, lucrative market, which, as we've discussed last time, is probably the only way for most people to really generate generational wealth.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think utilizing the blockchain, I think for the first time that I think, it's cross-border where it gives everyone access to investing in real estate, which what you guys are trying to do, which is amazing, which is really amazing. And we will go in depth on how, of the ways that you guys are trying to do that. I think it's actually very revolutionary. And like you said, I think accessibility is important. Like me, myself, I think we had a private chat. I love Dubai. I mean, I've never been there, heard of it. You guys from Dubai. I would love to, go there one day. But just seeing the real estate over there, the architecture over there, it amazes me. And, so now I'm able to, invest in Dubai through you guys, so which is actually really awesome.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Ken, just for our viewers today, why Dubai? Where does Dubai come in all of this? It's basically because of dealing with real estate and getting to tokenize it, we can say. Uh, real estate, you have fantastic opportunities worldwide, but we had to start somewhere. And it's true, there might be other projects out there doing something similar. So I have to be realistic about that. But I think where one of our differentiator comes from is that the place where we started, or we want to start by offering these real estates, will be Dubai. Now, why Dubai? If you think about it, Dubai right now is one of the hubs for a blockchain hub in the whole wide world. Every time that there is a crypto conference or something important happening, it's in Dubai. They have very friendly crypto regulations for the blockchain industry. So that itself sets Dubai apart from other jurisdictions, that they're blockchain friendly. On the other side, as you mentioned before, Dubai real estate is one of the top in the world. For example, it just came out a property report from UBS that stated that Dubai at the moment, for the last calendar year, had the highest returns in rental property in the world, overpassing Tokyo, New York, Sao Paulo. So if you think about it, then we can, by launching with the Dubai real estate, we get two fantastic markets. First, a regional or a global hub for blockchain, and a top real estate market. So it made perfect sense. I think that's one of our differentiators. We will not only be offering Dubai property, but in the future, but right now we have to start from somewhere. And I think it makes a lot of sense that we start with Dubai.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I think we all have heard of Dubai. That's beautiful, and I think a lot of people would consider that one of the most safest places in the world right now to be in or to live in. So it's a great investment. Now, you guys definitely would plan to expand, correct? And what is the market after Dubai are you guys thinking of?
I think that really depends on the, that really depends on the regulation. I think one of the main factors is, as we discussed before, the reason why we're coming on the market now is because the elements have always been there. You know, you had the crowdfunding, you had the tokenization, and what has been missing a little bit in the local markets was just simply the legislation. And we've identified a number of markets that allow us to do this now. There's already markets in Europe where we can do this, and also in Asia and in Central Asia. So it depends a little bit also on our client response. There's a lot of commercial real estate giving very good returns right now in Dubai. So we could probably easily invest 500 million to 1.5 billion there without any problem. And then other markets depends a little bit also where our clients want to be. So definitely Europe and definitely Asia. And then for other markets, we might have to create some special products. But there's a whole pipeline of markets that we're bringing on board right now because the legislation has caught up with the tech developments in this sector.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Like Savio said earlier, right now, Dubai, I think we all know, being in the crypto space, are very crypto friendly. And a lot of entrepreneurs are moving to Dubai for that reason as well. And I'm pretty sure you guys are for the same reason. Now, since we are in a USA crypto group, there's been some questions that I see in the room. Since we're on this topic, as far as regulations and clarity, etc., a lot of the people that are listening to us right now, they are from US. Now, the question is, since we're on the same topic right now, what is the process right now? What does this require for a US investor to invest through you guys into a portfolio?
Okay, so that's a very valid question. Currently, somebody from the US will follow the same procedure. Now, there's two things important here. One is sorry, I forgot to mention this before. We're currently having our IEO at the moment. Okay, that's in the P2P platform. I think the details were at the invitation. So at that stage, when you will participate in the project by acquiring the token, Vast Coin, then the procedure is the same for everybody. And yes, you will have an intrinsic value because of the IEO stage. Vast Coin will raise in value by itself, by the coin, because later on we're going to be listing in 2 or 3 top exchangers. So you have that part, and that's the same for everybody. Okay. Now the other part comes when if you want to invest in real estate. Okay, because that's actually an investment opportunity. You will do so by using Vast Coin. Now, here's the interesting thing: is with Vast, we're not really dealing with virtual land. We're talking brick and mortar, like real properties. These properties will be featured on our website, and you'll decide which property you want to get involved in or acquire. Now, as Tillman said before, it could happen that you do not have enough funds to buy a property in Dubai. However, you are able to do it with fractional ownership. As you might know, fractional ownership means something like crowdfunding. You can place a part payment, let's say, or a piece of a payment and participate by acquiring the project or the property with other people in the community. So you will own a fraction, a piece of that property. Okay, so then that becomes a real estate investment opportunity. Now, what's going to happen then is that we will manage that property. We will put it on the market so it can have dividends for the investors. So we'll manage it. We'll put it there, whether it's a short-term rental like an Airbnb or in a Booking.com. We will get those proceeds from the rental income, and we will distribute it to those people who participated in that specific project and acquired part of that property. Whether they bought the whole thing, they just bought a little piece for it. At that moment, one very important thing, and I think this makes the difference, is that that property will be under the name of the person who bought it. So it's not going to be under name. Vast will not own that property, and I think that's important. Now, when that comes to place, because you actually purchased real estate, then that comes where we do have to have KYC and compliance as for documentation, because that documents we have to send to the land register, because this has to be processed through a local office in Dubai to put whether it's the whole property or part of the property under your name. And yes, it is possible to do this co-ownership in Dubai. Okay, so that point is actually you own property overseas. And that's the point where you have to, and I want to be very clear in this, you have to comply with your local rules and regulations, which obviously mean if you're getting rent, you have to declare it. Okay, so where we are having our target audience, there's no limitations in owning property overseas, because this is what's happening. And obviously, own property overseas, most of the countries take that as investment if you rent it out and you perceive income from it. So every country is different, and how the taxes part will work, and that everybody has to, again, adhere to your local rules and regulations for that part. As you know, for us, it will be really hard to check and everybody doing this, and that's not part of our responsibility. So it's every part of the community's responsibility to do so. But from our side, in terms of investment, we are the vehicle from which you can acquire overseas real estate and concretely Dubai. Obviously, as I said before, real estate is something that's very regulated in Dubai, and we will have a license for doing this, for assisting in acquiring the property and for managing it. Okay, so we will have the license for that. But from that point of view, we are not owning the property. You are. Okay, you will be the final holder of the title deed. Let's put it that way. So from that sense, you as owning overseas property, you have to, as I said, adhere to your local rules and regulations. So from that point of view, I hope I've managed to explain a little bit how the U.S. clients and clients from any other country will be able to handle this. I don't know if I was clear enough, or
maybe if I could jump in as well, because that's like one of the key questions that we mentioned last time, right? There's different ways of doing this, and you were asking, for instance, some people offer direct investments through a security token, in which case you have a regulated vehicle, because whenever you offer some kind of a yield, then this becomes a security and has to have certain rules and regulations. And that is something that we're looking at for the future. as we have this in our pipeline for around Q3 of this year. But what we actually offer is a direct ownership model. And that's something that we've discussed. As Javier mentioned, we'll be part of RERA, the Dubai Real Estate Authority. So we'll be an accredited member there. So we're allowed to sell and broker real estate. And as you know, in the current market environment, a lot of people sit on crypto, sit on the profits of the last few years, and they want to know where they invested. You know, right now it's probably you don't want to keep it on an exchange. You don't really trust any of the other yield-bearing products, but you do understand real estate. And no matter what happens, if you have access to commercial real estate, there'll always be a real strong residual value in it, and there'll always be an interest-yielding asset. And this is what we're giving a direct access to. So the process is like this. You identify yourself simply with a passport. And the way it is currently set up in Dubai, once you've done this, you are a accredited member of our platform. And then you can directly buy real estate. You don't even have to travel to Dubai, which is the attractive part. And then you own the share of the property that you bought, and you're registered in the land registry. With crypto, you've now bought yourself a part of a real estate, and you're a direct owner. So how you exit it, this is all your property, and that sets us apart from anybody else who's wrapped it into a product. That's another way of looking at it, because you can look at it, you're in the land registry, you're there, it's yours, and it gives our people, especially in these markets, a lot of additional security. And that's why we set it up this way. And yeah, looking forward to having you on board there.
All right. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you for the clarifications. Actually, you guys made it very easy to understand. So you guys work through the laws and the regulations over there, and you guys will be handling the land register entry for the investors over there, and they become part of the fractional ownership. That's what you call it. So in a way, the investor will own the land over in Dubai, proportionate to whatever they put in, invest in. And so all they have to do is just provide you guys a passport. Pretty much that's it. Now, regarding the rules and regulations for taxes in America, it's pretty much very easy. I'm not sure where else is in the world, how they do it, but over here, it's pretty much through capital gain tax, right? And that's it. So if you hold for longer than a year, if your investment's over longer than a year, they call that a long capital gain, you pay less taxes. And that's pretty much it. Anything less than a year, you just pay your regular capital gain tax within your tax bracket. So it's very straightforward. Yeah, very clear. Thanks for that clarification.
Good. Happy to help. And once again, I think that is one of our differentiators. It is not only that we're starting in Dubai, but we will be regulated, right? So it's not simply that we just plan to offer real estate, is that in order to do so, we have to be regulated. We have to have a license. So I think that gives comfort for the people looking into this project to see that, yeah, actually, okay, these guys are regulated. They have a license. It's not that easy to get, actually, but we need one, and we're working for that. And that will be a sort of guarantee for the client to know this is a serious project. That can also set us apart from other ones. We actually have been talking with the different law offices there that are going to help us out to get the license. We have different real estate partners there as well that are ready to support us. So again, that takes time. It takes connections. You have to invest time in building up these connections. So this is something that the team has been working for a little bit over 2 years. So it's not something they just woke up and made it a nice web page. There is a lot of work in the background that people can't see, but it'll be reflected over time once they see what kind of licenses we get, that we're going to have an office in Dubai and so on. So I think slowly we're getting there. We have a lot of positive feedback from the community, and it's definitely, as Tillman said before, we do want to decentralize the real estate. Dubai is just the first step for it.
Exactly. And then there's two parts to the regulation, and I think it's important for everybody to know. The RERA is just the real estate part. So we'll have like a brokerage and asset management license, which is the regulatory part for the real estate. And then on the crypto regulation side, we're working with the DMCC and the DIFC, because those two are very, very crypto-friendly tax-free zones that have their own crypto code and crypto regulations. So we are regulated both on the crypto part and on the real estate part, because we come from the institutional space, and it's very important for us to have full transparency there and make sure that we are always one or two steps ahead by engaging with the legislature there, and making sure that they are completely on board with what we do.
That's really nice to hear. I think that's actually very, very crucial to ensure the longevity of the project, right? I think that's very important, and I'm glad that you guys tackle on both sides of it. Very important for the investors as well. Now, okay, so right now you guys are, what stage are you guys at right now, AMR and Sevilla? What kind of, what is your raising, your money raising stage right now? Where are we at?
Okay, as I mentioned before, we are in the IEO stage. We have, if you check our tokenomics, we are planning to have approximately 45% of the tokens will be made available to the public. We're initially raising funds for IEO with P2P, and you can find the link in the invitation. Soon we're going to have another IEO platform, Launchpad, soon, I expect in a couple of weeks. So at this IEO stage, we do have plans to raise approximately over $1.5 million. Again, this is explained in Talk Economics. Those funds will be used for setting up everything in Dubai, what's needed for. So it's not going to go that into marketing or anything else. It'll be just destined for operation purposes to guarantee the safety of the operation, and that we're complying with all the rules and regulations in Dubai. But Tillman is our CFO. So Tillman, would you like to a little bit talk more about that?
I think, give me a second. Yeah, I think at this point, we're very much focused on platform growth. So a lot of the funds are earmarked for the platform development, our marketplace where people can register and then go forward and actually buy the properties. So we'll have a marketplace where we list through our local partner a whole range of commercial real estate that people can invest into. And that's where we're at currently. We're finalizing the development of the technological infrastructure and the office that we're going to have. And this is basically, most of the funds are dedicated just for the next 6 to 9 months for the entire infrastructure development, that you have a very, very seamless process of buying, holding, and viewing the progress of your real estate. So this is what we're going to do. We'll expand a little bit more on the development side. As you know, we've got a team of 18 people right now that's projected to grow to around 30, 35 people, and also a team of around 5 people that we'll have locally in Dubai to manage all this for us on the ground.
Okay, thanks for that. So those are listening right now, the IEO, what Xavier is referring to as initial exchange offering, and the exchange is P2P, which there's a link on the banner there, and we will repost that for you guys. Now, you guys are raising 1.5 million. Is that the total of all the initial? Is that the total of the pre-sale of the money that you guys trying to raise, or it just kind of depends on, or you guys will expand to different exchanges as well, or launchpad as well?
Well, our strategy is to go and go through we're adding another 2 or 3 launch pads just in order to give people the exposure as well. because obviously it's nice to have a broader community. It's an interesting product. It fits the market right now. So we're now in the next week or two going to the second launchpad, and then we'll add one of the larger ones that could be Gate.io, that could be Binance. That's going to come at the end of Q1 to make sure that people can buy our token just from any of the major exchanges. So right now we're just using this mainly to create awareness and publicity and give people access to our token from any of the exchanges they commonly use.
Okay, so all right. Now, is there like an ultimate number that you guys trying to raise there, MR?
Currently between $1.5 and $2 million. That's what we need. That's what we projected for the development pipeline, our staffing requirements. That will see us through till close to the end of the year. And that's the amount that we're looking to raise right now. And then the rest, that's our goal for the first 2 quarters of this year.
And this will be done all through IEO, right? Which is centralized exchanges, which they do require KYC, right? So you guys are not planning to raise the money in a decentralized launchpad, are you?
We are looking at it. So right now we just went, basically thought, okay, we'll go for the first 3 major ones. And then yes, DeFi is definitely part of the strategy because it's easier for people to access, it's permissionless, it's sanctionless. So it's definitely part of our strategy. And that'll be the first thing after we've basically covered the first 3 exchanges. Yes, there's a lot of capital locked up in DeFi. And of course, we want our people to also have access to the same value, whether they come in through the CeFi or DeFi route.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a great strategy for you guys to also move to DeFi as well. I think to start off with some centralized exchanges, but I think there's a lot of money in DeFi, and maybe for those just not wanting to go through the KYC process, right? Because when buying your tokens on an exchange, you guys will have it on decentralized exchange as well, right? Now, I want to be clear with the people listening right now. When you invest in or when you want to be part of ownership, that's the only time that you have to KYC through you guys, right? But as far as buying tokens or trading tokens, you don't have to through a decentralized exchange, correct?
Correct. So as you know, our token VAST is a utility token, so you can use this for staking, for voting, for incentive programs, also for probably we're going to bring 1 or 2 additional products onto the market. As you discussed before, we're looking at STOs as well. So this will be used for various aspects of our entire ecosystem. Also then, once we have a security token, of course, investing, trading, interest payments as well. So the token is non-restricted. Anybody can buy it, and it will always be structured in a way that people can have this without any geological restrictions. It's only once we introduce special structures like security tokens, then those will be directed at specific audiences, like, for instance, the US or parts of Europe, for instance.
Okay, perfect. All right, yeah, I think that would definitely give you guys more access to the capital that you may need in the beginning stage, for sure, using the decentralized platform. All right, thanks for that. I think now that we got that out of the way, so that way our U.S. investors are very clear on what is needed to invest into a portfolio to be part of the fractional ownership of a property in Dubai versus buying the token on exchange. So I think that's very clear now. All right, that sounds great. Now let's move on to our next topic. What would you guys want to speak on? Because I have a lot of things that, you guys have a pretty massive project, your utility use cases, NFT governance and staking, etc. But it's up to you guys. What do you guys want to speak on next?
I think maybe at this point, it would be good also to speak about the mere scale of the market.
Okay.
As Javier has mentioned at the beginning, it is just a commercial professionally managed commercial real estate market is massive. I mean, we're talking about a $10 trillion market. And there's a lot of space in this for participants like us to enter. So we see that there's some other platforms that are trying to enter this. They're mainly real estate brokers, for instance, or crowdfunding platforms, but they're always limited because they need to take care of their existing infrastructure. They either need to involve the existing brokers, for instance, and make sure they're part of it. But our goal is a complete disintermediation, as in taking out all the entities that don't necessarily add value, but add cost, and make this a really low-cost, simple, fun experience. But if we talk about a $10 trillion market, say we grow to a space of 10 billion within 3 years, which is our target, 10 billion under management, then, or through access to our platform, then we still only control 0.1% of the market. So we're talking about an absolutely massive market here. And there's a lot of upside potential and a lot of liquidity in this market. So we just want to make sure that people always have the right property for their personal needs with the right risk and yield profile to make it really, to allow them to run their portfolio, realign their portfolio according to their own investment needs. So it's a big space. And I think how we set ourselves apart is just that we are a Swiss team. So we like to have things around that might not be the fastest, but the best. I think you know the watches, you know that they are not always the cheapest, but they work. And you have them around for generations. And we view the same way as, we view real estate the same way. You know, we are offering a real brick and mortar product. It's going to be really, really long term. We want to be around for a very long time. And that's what's setting us apart from maybe other projects that want to make just a quick return. This for us is something for the long term. And I think you probably have that in crypto as well. There have been some kind of financial products, but there hasn't really been access to more traditional asset classes like real estate. And given how the last 6 months turned out, I think for a lot of the clients that we've talked to, it's really, really important to have something real that they can buy with their crypto. Because a lot of people are, 10, 20, 30% of their wealth into crypto. And they need to have something to put it into in case there's a further downturn or there's, something that they want to have more long-term. Retirement funds, college funds, and so on. We want to offer solutions for people like this. I think the response has been great, and we believe this is the right product for the market right now.
I agree. And I love the way you guys are strategically approaching things, dealing with making sure that, like you said, making sure that foundation is there, right? Every step is solid, right? So I think that's very important. But yeah, I think real estate is one thing about real estate is that you can almost predict what the ROI is going to be, right? It's not as volatile as the whole crypto market. It's a great way to hedge against the market, currently as well right now. I think it's a great timing, especially with the market being down, even in real estate right now as well. So the only way it's going to go is up, right? Now, I do have a question regarding, now let's say you raise MR in Savia. If you guys raise, let's say, the expected number of 1.5 to 2 million, what would you guys start out with? What would be the first portfolio? What would you guys focus on? Because I know you guys are focused on residential, multi-home, commercial, hotels, etc. What would be the first thing that you guys focus on?
So right now in Dubai, it will be residential, because given the events we were in Dubai around in October, and we were surprised just how much the market has grown this year. And that was fortunately or unfortunately due to the political developments around Russia and the Ukraine and Belarus. So there was a huge influx of people from the region who just wanted to have a safe investment structure and also a safe place for their families. So that's one of the factors that gave a big boost to the market. And that continues to give a big boost to the market when other markets might be going down. So it is there's a lot of latent demand in the market, even for projects off plan that are usually sold off plan and already with a guaranteed tenant for the first 1 or 2 years. So we'll stay there. We'll go into residential homes that are managed by a management company that makes it very predictable with multi-year leases. That's probably the most liquid and safest investment to go into first. There'll be other asset classes that we're adding as we go along, but this will be the first one for the first, say, $50 or $100 million.
Okay, awesome. All right. Yeah, like you said, I think this is, we've had some real estate projects coming through. Some of them I feel like the team was not experienced or was not really clear on the regulatory side of it. But I feel like you guys did put together a very, very, very good team with amazing background.
And
it is
if
a
I
slow
may
process.
part in here, sorry, you mentioned a really, really important point there when you said a hedge, what say would happen if there's a bit of a market downturn? And if anything that we've seen is normally people make a lot of generational wealth if there's a downturn and they actually invest at the bottom of the market. And the way we structure this is we look for properties with long-term multi-year leases. So there's always a more or less guaranteed or a target return that people will reach. But of course, that target return goes up when the price goes down. So if the market were to go down 10, 20%, then our investors can go in and pick up a professionally managed property where they normally need 10 or 20 million to buy this. And they're now a direct shareholder in this, but their yield is much higher, of course, because they went in at a lower price. So we view this as actually, if there's a market downturn, it's a perfect hedge for any of the other asset classes because you can enter the market at a reduced price while still having the same yields as you would have at the current pricing level. Having said that, Dubai has been very, very resilient to the crises in the last 12 years. So we believe that the market is actually still going to go up. That was the feedback we got from all our partners there, that they said, look, their projects are sold off plan. So there's still a lot of unmet demand in Dubai, and that's what we are planning to focus on for our investors as a first step. So yeah, the hedge is a really, really important point from our point of view.
Yeah, definitely. And just put things in perspective. Like in traditional world, in order for you to invest or buy a property, you would need quite a bit of capital to put in, right? And to acquire that property, which a lot of people in this world, a lot of billionaires and millionaires are actually made their money off real estate. A lot of people know that. It's one of the industry that, I always say there's two things inevitable in life, right? Death and real estate, right? You cannot create more land and you will die, right? Two things guaranteed. But yeah, in traditional world, it's very hard to invest in real estate. You got to have a lot of capital. So I think with you guys recognizing the potential in tokenizing and bringing to the blockchain where you don't really need a lot of money, right? You can just invest in whatever you can and be of that fractional owner of that, which is, I think that's that idea itself. I think that's actually pretty amazing. But now it's cross-border as well. So now you have the accessibility to everyone around the world, which is pretty cool. Really amazing.
Yeah, and also I guess the ease, when you want to buy a commercial real estate transaction, is just takes a bit of time. You interact with all these different counterparties, registries, brokers, notaries, and we want to take all those intermediaries out and put all of this on the blockchain. But even until this is being done, and this is probably a multi-year process, we'll still basically manage this collectively and make sure because of this that the costs are so much lower because you have one entity that is actually managing all of this. And the main factor for people here is time. You know, it's easy. You go onto a platform, you're vetted, you're ready, and you click the button, and you are a registered owner of real estate. And that is, in our opinion, absolutely unique in the market. So we also want to focus on the user experience and make sure it's as simple and easy and fun as possible to be part of this exciting market.
Yeah, and you guys will do all the management. So pretty much in simple term, if I want to invest into a property over in Dubai, all I have to do is send my KYC, my passport to you guys. You guys will take care of everything from land registry to property management, pretty much everything. And you guys would just send me my return every 3 months, correct?
Yes, we would. There's a few steps to go through, but yeah, basically you can see it as we'll do everything in-house. So that is placing the property into your name, putting it out there for short-term or long-term rental, managing it, finding the people who will be staying there. And yeah, at the end of the day, every month or every 3 months, then send you the amount of money that the property has made, whether you're a single owner or fractional owner. You're a fractional owner, well, that will be an equation that you'll get a proportional return of what you invested, right? So if you got, I don't know, you put 10% in to acquire the property, then 10% of the monthly return that property gives will be given to you. So that part, it will be crystal clear. And again, as Tillman said, a big differentiator is that we will be doing everything ourselves, right? Because if you want to buy property overseas, then you have to have the broker, you have to have the bank account, you have to have a local agent or office who will do all the paperwork, right? And all of this costs money. It takes time. So we will take that away by doing that all ourselves. We will have the office in Dubai. We will have the license to do it ourselves. So that's why we can afford to put the property on blockchain, because a big part of this is about being licensed in order for you to handle it yourself, and that's where we want to go to, in that area.
Yeah, I think that's that's as cost effective and efficient, right? And so you guys are expertise. You guys are experts on what you guys do, and you guys take on the responsibility of management and all this, admin works, etc. And so you can save. So that's where the saving comes in from, and I can definitely see that. Now you mentioned single ownership. Now, I did read that. Are you referring to like the NFT form, Xavier?
Well, single ownership basically would mean that a property, any given property in Dubai that is of your interest, then if you like that, then you don't have to get into crowdfunding. This is obviously the simplest, the easiest way. Is just we acquire the property on your behalf and we put it under your name. Okay. In the future, yes, we had some questions about NFTs. And it is in the pipeline, and if you see our roadmap, it is written there. Not yet. We're not going to go through that yet, but in the future we will have it. So by single ownership, basically, that means that the property is solely in your name, under your name, and that is it. There's no other crowdfunders next to it. Again, so just to make it clear for our people out there, it will not be under our name. Okay. It's under your name. It's your property. We're just a vehicle. VAST is the vehicle with which you can acquire it.
Now how would the doc?
Sorry to maybe if I can just say something more. NFT, as we've known, has been only used for a fraction of the capability right now, basically to hold, non-fungible images and basically give you a complete digital right. And we can imagine the property NFT to work much the same. So it's actually not a virtual asset, it's a real asset, and it's a legal wrapper, if that's how you want to describe it. It wraps the deed, the notary, the land registry, all contracts to do with the real estate, and the ownership of a real estate will be wrapped into a single legal smart contract, an NFT. So if you later, or we later, want to transact larger properties, then an NFT is actually a very efficient frame because it's one single digital package on the blockchain that contains all your data. So it's a very safe way to transact larger parts of the portfolio and then also move ownership at some point of a large part of the portfolio where you just can sell whole blocks, for instance, with a simple transfer because all the details have been built into this smart contract. So that's the way forward for larger units. And that's also something that we are discussing with, for instance, family offices or bigger single investors who say, look, I have one property. How can I move this onto the blockchain to make it more liquid and safer? So it's a very interesting thing that's on our pipeline, probably for Q3 or Q4 of this year, to find a structure for larger investors who want to make sure that they can have their properties on the blockchain as well.
Yeah, it's funny because we had a discussion in a room a while back, and I think one of the topic came up is what industry is not utilizing the NFT aspect of it to its potential, and I think the real estate industry is exactly what you said. Wrapping everything up into one NFT and able to transfer that to an investor, etc. That's so efficient, right? And even for ownership of a property, even I think that's going to be huge. I have not seen it, but I definitely see the potential in that 100%.
Exactly. I think the NFTs are great for any kind of digital rights, patents, licenses, or just a single immutable object like just a large tower block, for instance. So we've just seen the beginning of the development, and I think this is an exciting way forward to larger real estate transactions, portfolios, and so on. And we're looking forward to drive this forward once let's say the commercial real estate need of our clients has been met.
Right. Now, you guys are also thinking of going to the mortgage side of it also. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I think that's such an interesting part because if you talk about the average investor, having a mortgage is probably the only leverage they will ever have access to, or at least the only major amount of leverage. You have a down payment, say 10 or 20%, but somebody will loan you 80%. And given that you have an asset class with quite a low volatility and that's profitable over time, we are looking to do the same with mortgages. Say, for instance, you do a down payment in USDC or USDT, and then we loan you the rest towards it. Then all of a sudden you can buy your own property, probably a dedicated property with much less money down. So this is one of the most interesting things to come out of real estate probably in the next year. And it's going to revolutionize access that people have to real estate. Because then having leverage, low interest leverage based on your stable coins, for instance, is revolutionary. That's a really, really smart way to build long-term wealth for yourself and your family.
Oof, man, that's big. That is big. I'm just thinking about that now, and that's huge. The accessibility and the money that's around the world, that's going to be a game changing. I look forward to see the development for sure on all this aspects that you guys are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, MR, Xavier, now let's say you guys done with the raising money round. What can the investor, when would be the first portfolio of assets you think that you will be putting on your website or have it ready for investors?
Well, I think that would happen we expect to happen in a week and a half.
Nice.
So one of the nice parts of this, and I think I've said it before, is because we're not going to own the property, then we're not trying to raise money to acquire property and resell it to our members. Still, our community will be able to acquire the property from the seller directly. We will assist in the process. So that makes things much easier. So I think the first 2 or 3 properties will be out very soon. We expect it to do it in a week and a half. Yeah, I already have it on the website. So, in Dubai, you do have the top tier properties, whether it's in the Dubai Harbor or next to the Burj Khalifa. So we're gonna start putting 2 different ones, 3 different ones in different budgets for people to choose from. And again, as we grow bigger and bigger, we can have more partners in Dubai and more corporate partners. So we're going to be able to offer more real estate, different kind of real estate. But for now, I think we're going to start with 2 or 3. And again, that should happen in the coming weeks.
Very nice, very nice, and I love that. I love the variety of different portfolio depending on your capital, I guess. I think that's crucial. I think there was a project that came through, and I think that was one of the things that I thought it was missing, was that. All right.
I think that's crucial because I'm sure everybody have seen, that you have these fantastic properties in Dubai and Palm Islands and all these artificial islands, and they keep developing it. And you always are like, wow, that looks amazing. I wish I could own that. I wish I could have that. Well, now it's a possibility with the fractional ownership. But again, there's different apartments, different real estate have different values. Some cost more, some cost less. So we want to give it an opportunity people to choose from. Now, all of them, what we're going for is more the ones that in real estate have more commercial, you could say, chances of success. Meaning that we're not going to really go like into buy and offering something that's run down, so there has to be money to put into renovating it and so on. No, we're going for something that's already made. Or, interesting enough, we will also be offering the project itself. What does that mean? That, as you know, in real estate, properties, when they're building a property, they're also going something like at an initial stage, that before it's being built and delivered, the property as a project is offered at a discount price, right? Year and a half, 2 years before. So you're able to buy that property at a discount price. So that's also what we're going to be offering, the project itself. What's the benefit of that is that you join it early. You get that property at a below market price. You wait for a year and a half. When the property is ready, well, obviously you have your property has a higher intrinsic value that has gained from the market, right? So I think that we also be going into that direction. And again, Dubai's Dubai. You have so many projects coming out all the time in real estate. So it's just amazing the market, what's going on there.
Yeah, and there we're going to be working with the, sorry to interrupt you there, with the main developers like Emma and Damak, that are the massive, absolutely biggest development companies there. And they have a lot of really good properties coming up that are typically fully oversubscribed within a very short space of time. But because of our relationship, we can get access to off-plan property. And then the trade-off is that initially you don't have an actual yield for the first, say, 2 years. You don't get any interest, but you have a much larger appreciation. So that is a very interesting way that you can get in and be registered for something that is being built. And then, once it comes on the market, it'll be rented out through our management company, but you have a much bigger appreciation. So this is definitely a nice way to structure your portfolio, where you have some existing yield-bearing assets, but also some that are mainly there for appreciation and that are going to come on the market in the next 15 to 24 months.
Early access. I like that. That is awesome. Now I want to get into the crypto consulting services that you guys offer, and also I saw something that you mentioned, white label service as well. Could you guys elaborate on that? What is that? Let's start with the white label service, and what does that entail?
I mean, essentially, there are a lot of entities out there that already have a very large pre-existing customer set. Those might be, you know, large international financial consultancies. On the one hand, or like people like family offices, banks, insurance companies, and they won't have access to they won't have the teams to build the technology. You know, they're not structured in a way to be really sensitive to the market, but they have a very, very large subset of consumers that are very attuned to this kind of market. So we can also just build them a white labeled version of our platform where they can just address projects to their own audience. And then we just have a technology sharing agreement. So from their point of view, it is simply let's say an outsourcing project, but they are committing to bring maybe 10,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 clients on board. So if we have the technology and we are in the brokerage business, getting people direct access, we don't necessarily need to have our own clients on it. But if somebody already has a big set of clients that are very loyal, very well informed, we're happy to work with them and give them access to the same platform in the background, because we get the flow for our management company and at the same time just massively increase the user base with very little technical development needed. So it's a massive multiplier for our technology. And I know that very well from banking. We've used that a lot before. When you give banking, other banks, for instance, trading platforms or asset management platforms. And here it's much the same. You go to a big financial group with a huge user base in India or in Indonesia or in Mexico. We don't need to have a name there. They already have the name there, the user base, the reputation, the customer service. So we will just plug in and give them a fully white label platform that gives exactly the same rights to their users, but they'll be up and ready in a few weeks, pending their contracts. And that's a massive force multiplier for what we are doing. So it's a great way for us to scale our business.
Genius. Yeah, I think that's actually very ingenious of you guys, because you'll tap into the existing clientele of, you know, other whatever company or etc. And in a way, you guys are pretty much onboarding them as well. Now, are you guys thinking about, now is that has to do with like onboarding to the blockchain as well, or just pretty much just you guys is going to make it very seamless where they don't even know that they've been on the blockchain, etc.?
There's two ways of looking at it. I think from the user point of view, as long as they can use crypto to own direct title to the real estate, we want to make it in a way that the rights of the users and the investors are secured, but they don't necessarily need to know about all the technological things that go on in the background. I think the user cares about the fact that, yes, I hold a digital title, I can go in the land registry, I see myself. And how they arrive there, if they arrive through us or through another platform, doesn't matter so much. We just want to give them access to the same safety and yield as if they go through us directly, or if they go through one of their existing partners that they trust. So the steps in between might become less important as long as the end result is that what the customer wishes to have. And that's what we are here to ensure, that they have full protection and full ownership of their assets.
Yeah, I think that's definitely will help with your scalability. I think that will kick things in gear for sure. All right. Now, I want to talk about your utilities and use cases. Now, regarding an NFT, I know that you guys are working on that down maybe next year, Q4, like you said. So we can not talk about that, but you guys also plan to have a DAO in a way, governance, staking. And also, I want to talk about the rewarding key strategic partners. What does that entail?
I mean, essentially, we just want people to understand that we're just having that our token has a big utility in the entire ecosystem. Of course, we want to use it there's a big transactional use case that people buy our token with their favorite crypto, if it's Bitcoin, ETH, USDT, USDC, whatever they want to come in with. The properties on our platform are bought through the VAST token. But of course, we want to have once we have a bigger, very large active community, it's a nice way to interact. And if we have a DAO-like structure, it's good if they can actually vote on some strategic direction, or, we want to use this as a way for our community to give us feedback. So these are the other use cases that we're looking at. And then depending on the feedback from the community, we'll activate those.
I see. Okay.
And for instance, if we have like a very large financial group that, for instance, puts the entire user portfolio onto our platform, for instance, then we'd like to have a way of rewarding those and making sure that they are also part of this transaction because they're introducing clients directly to us.
That makes sense. Okay, now regarding staking, now is that going to be available when the project is launched? And can you give us a bit more in depth of that staking? Like, what can we expect as far as the rewards go, and what percent, etc.?
We haven't. We've put it into the smart contract. It's there to be used, but I think for the initial stage of the project, it's not needed because right now people will just come in and use their token to invest. So it is not needed at this stage. But then once we launch more projects, I think it'll be an attractive way for people to gain yield. It will make sense if we then, for instance, have a fund and we launch our own financial projects. And then it would make sense that we offer staking. And one of the projects or one of the ways we're looking at this is rent payment. Say, for instance, you're staking $1 million with us, then you could, for instance, get a rent-free apartment. That is one way of doing this. For instance, you stake $1 million with us, and you get an apartment in Dubai or Chicago or Stockholm or Bangkok, and you live there rent-free. So this is one of the models. We've built it into the smart contract, but because it's such a new space, we're looking how to actually best use staking to create value for our user base.
That's actually, when I read about that, that's actually kind of sparks my curiosity as far as, what do I need to hold as far as staking go in order for me to get free rent? I mean, that sounds very, very good to live free rent, right? But that's down the line. You guys will have more details on that, right? Right now, that's not very certain right now.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much demand right now for the outright purchase and ownership of real estate. But of course, we're looking into the future. And like you mentioned before, mortgages, staking for rent, all these things are so interesting and they haven't really been explored. So we're drawing up the logic behind it so that we can keep launching really exciting projects for our community.
Yeah, and also the governance DAO. How do you foresee that? I know right now it's a bit early, but how do you foresee that as of now? How is that working out?
I think mainly for if you want to take some strategic decisions, or for instance, want to hear from our user base where we want to offer real estate. Like some of the AMAs we had in the past, people said, well, can you make a project in Africa? We would actually be the ones to benefit most from this because we don't always have access to really good asset classes, high yielding, secure asset classes. So I think it would be a great feedback mechanism and voting mechanism for strategic direction. Again, we've got this in the smart contract. We just need to see how we best use it to interact with our community.
Right. Okay. All right. Now the tokenomics, Xavier and MR, you have a total of 300 million tokens, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And now you are doing the IEO between 1.5 to 2 million, and you are also going to have a public whitelisted pre-sale afterward, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And I think there's you guys check out. If you guys are listening, make sure you guys check out the white paper, the tokenomics on there. There's a lot. You can see the distribution where the tokens are going. It looks very fair. All right. Is there anything else you want to speak on? Yeah, go ahead, Sabi. I'm sorry.
A little bit about what we were talking before with you, Ken and Mike, about the markets. A lot of people are asking us in the AMAs, why now? Is it the right time to launch such a project? You know that there's still going on a bear market. Ken, you think that this market will stay like this for another year, which is valid, and it might, how things are going. But the people should realize that our main benefit is to accessing a certain kind of investment, which is real estate, right? So just to explain, in blockchain terminology, you have the term buy the dip, right? Which is basically when there's a crypto coin out there and it has dived, well, that's the good time to invest in it, because you would expect, and if you trust that project, that coin will go up in value over time. For example, Bitcoin, that's buy the dip. Now, something similar happens in real estate. When you want to acquire property, you're not going to wait until the market is really high and everything is expensive, right? You want to pay less. So there's also something like buy the dip in real estate, in which is basically you would wait until the value of a given real estate goes down, and then you want to jump into it, acquire it, because the chances are that that same property over a year or 2 years or 10 years will very much gain in value, right? So if you think about it from that point of view, right now is a great time to acquire property, especially in Dubai. In Dubai right now, I think that from what I was reading, the real estate prices are around what was in 2019, just before COVID, right? So they're getting there, they're increasing, but still, it is what it was like 3 years ago. So it's a good time to invest. So taking that into account, yes, it's a perfect time to launch something like this, because you can acquire prime real estate at discounted prices. The markets are down for real estate, was because of inflation, geopolitical issues going on, you name it. And it's not only Dubai. There's a lot of issues going on for real estate all over the world. So it is a great time to launch now, if you ask me. So regardless of if it's a bear market in the crypto space, remember the underlying asset that we're going after is real estate. And in real estate, you also want to buy the dip in order to make more money.
Exactly. And also you've got, we've seen what happened to a lot of the, let's say, safe crypto investments that collapsed during the last year. And people usually put, say, 5-10% of their portfolio into those. But we want to have the 20, 50, 80% of their crypto portfolio that is not speculative, but that is something that is more long-term. We'd like to see the funds for that people have into, retirement, education funds, college funds for their kids, that kind of thing. And one of the best ways to assure longevity is to put this into real estate, because over the long term, it's been the one asset class that has always been decreasing, whether there's been a dip or not. So I think it's the safest way, if you're in crypto right now, to park part of your portfolio and protect it and have it there as a long-term asset in order to, ensure your financial future.
100%, 100%. Especially, not just for the young investors out there, but especially as you get older in age, right? So your tolerance of wide swing or volatility, you cannot have the same tolerance as you have when you were young, right? So real estate is one of the best ways to make sure that you bringing back that residual, almost like expected income, right? To ride it out for the rest of your life. That would be my strategy right now. I'm taking a lot of risk just because I'm not there yet, but oh yeah, 100%. I think real estate to be you guys, I mean, you guys have a very interesting project. And like I said, I love Dubai. I just been looking at stuff online, but that's something that I would love to invest in. It's over in Dubai one day.
Oh, now's your chance, Ken. Now's your chance.
The thing is, MR, Xavier, we are launching a project ourselves, and we, Dubai ultimately is going to be a place where we want to end up at. And we've been talking about this because of the uncertain and the unclear regulatory, regulations, etc. in the U.S. Everybody's in almost the same boat, right? We're trying to figure out all the legal aspect of it and things like that. But it seems like right now Dubai is the way to go. But so we may need you guys. I don't know. I'm not sure. Down the line, but we may need you guys to look for a property over there very soon, and that would be amazing.
Sure.
Definitely, and also let us know. And then also, I think as we go along, there'll be a lot of really exciting developments. I think it's going to be a very exciting year, and we might just come back in like 3 months and just talk about where we're at, how the first properties are doing. So it'd be nice to engage more with your channel and your audience, and then come back at regular intervals and talk about progress, see where we've gone, see what the market feedback has been, and talk a bit more about the pipeline of projects that are coming online, so that we keep that dialogue going and your users know what's happening ahead of time.
I would love that. And you guys are free anytime. I would love that. Because I think, like I said earlier, we had a discussion in our room, and I think the real estate aspect of the industry, I think is untapped. I feel like it's being utilized coupling with the blockchain technology. I have not seen anyone done it, but I feel like it's almost necessary in a way, but I'm not sure why it has not been done yet in the way that it should be. So I hope you guys are the ones to do it.
Yeah, we feel the reason is just that most of the components have been there, but they hadn't been put together. Blockchain and tokenization and crowdfunding are the components. And the final one that was missing was just the legal aspect. So now you have all the 4 component elements that you need, and now you can put this together. And like we discussed before, it's a massive market, just a $10 trillion market. So imagine if you grow to be a $10 billion behemoth, it will still be 0.1%. So this is going to be a long multi-year transition, and will take years before we have any sizable competitors, because the market is simply large enough to absorb so much capital. So it'll be a very, very interesting journey ahead.
Definitely. That's something that we would love for you guys to come back and just keep us in the loop, right? And community in the loop, because I think this is the future of the blockchain. Is the real estate. Just because we know that everyone wants real estate. Everybody owns real estate. Everybody's looking to real estate. It's one of the safest investment out there. So we know that the industry is big. So yeah, I would love for you guys to come back, keep us in the loop as far as the regulation goes, the development, etc.
We'd be happy to be back.
Awesome, MR. Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you. And with that said, Mike's been keep tracking a bunch of questions in the room. So we're going to go ahead and open up the mic for questions. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
That'll be great.
All right, Mike.
Let me join this video party here. Hold on. There I am. What's up, guys?
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Good to see you.
You too. We had quite a few questions tonight, but I know we had a few that wanted to ask on voice. I believe, Stefan, if you're still here, you want to jump on voice and ask your question, brother?
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, my question is, how are you going to make sure that the governance will not be hijacked by the whales, because one of the main issues I've noticed in governance is the fact that whales take advantage of it and make up decisions that will only benefit them. So how are you going to how are you going to have a look for what they have voted for, so that it will be in the favor of their selfish interests? Do you get my question?
Yes, we do. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking a market that is not very accessible to everyone. Say, for instance, you might not always have access to all the data in Dubai, but we make it all accessible. So everybody will see what returns do we offer, what returns did, what was the pricing, are you registered? So we're giving you full transparency, and any big players that want to do the same need to do the same. So they would have to prove to you that they are better at giving you access or giving you a higher yield than what we are doing. So all we're doing is building more transparency into the market. And of course, if anybody is better at doing it, then that's good. It will drive us and force us to be even more efficient and, reduce the costs even more. So essentially, we're just building a very, very level playing field and making it easier for everyone to access the market. And if people don't respect it, then that will also come out. That if people are building in a lot of hidden costs, their assets will be less attractive, and you can actually see this. So it is, say, for instance, looking at all the REITs, the real estate trusts, the funds, they've got a lot of hidden costs, management costs, all sorts of buying and selling costs that they don't disclose. But through working with platforms like ours, we'll make sure that there's transparency and that we really protect the interests of our investors. I hope that answered your question, Stevens.
Yeah. I love the fact that you guys put transparency in the place. Like, I love the fact. I don't know whether I can go on with my second question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. There are a couple of staking reward has been stated in your white paper, and I know many investors will like to stake their token. So based on the tokenomics, do you think the allocated 5% token will be enough for staking reward and all of that, regarding that this is a long-term project? Do you get my question?
Yes, we do. So I think we have put it in there in order to be able to offer this in the future. I mean, right now you see we're a utility token, and say with the 300 million tokens that we have, we've got, let's say, for instance, if you buy a real estate at 1.5 million, that's minimum of 200 properties that we can offer. So the token is mainly going to be used as the liquidity of the marketplace. And for the staking going forward, if there's a big demand and if we have the right product for it, we can adjust it. For the time being, we're going to use it initially just to give people direct access to personally owned real estate. And for that, staking will not be needed. But of course, we've put it there in order to be able to offer it as a way of sharing some of the corporate profits with the community, or allowing them to access things like stake to rent. Okay. And if that at some point gains more traction, then we may have to readjust it in order to make sure that enough people have access to it. But right now, for the first stage of the project, the staking won't be needed because you're already using our token to gain direct access to directly owned real estate in your name.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. That answers my questions. Thanks a lot, and good luck in your project. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Stevens.
Thank you, Stevens. Does anybody else want to hop on voice and ask their questions before I jump into a few texts?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Right hand. How's it going, my man? Can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. In your real estate project, so can we expect any type of age restrictions in securing the real estate things? Like we know that many countries who has age restrictions to owning properties like house and like other stuff. So do you have like this any statement?
Let me just rephrase. Did you say like an age restriction on the purchase of real estate?
Yes. Many countries have this type of restriction for owning any real estate.
Here we draw the line at the normal legal age of 18, because then you are contractually able to act as a counterparty and sign contracts. So if you want to hold something in your name on behalf of your family members, that is your business, but we'll be only opening this to anybody who's actually legally able to hold title to property in their name and to sign contracts. And yeah, that'll be the line that we draw. Does that answer your question, Rayan?
Yes, I got it. And another question is, we know that many countries don't allow the cryptocurrency. So how they will buy real estate, or what plan about this? Can only the token need to buy real estate?
So for the time being, yes, the feedback we have from our community is that a lot of people hold larger crypto portfolios, but they want to put it somewhere safe, and they want to put it somewhere that they like and they enjoy. And real estate is certainly one of them, right? And we are making it as easy as possible to allow people to go in with all their favorite cryptocurrencies, if that's, BTC, ETH, USDC, USDT, and other ones. If later on we want to have a fiat to fiat platform where you can come in with US dollars or dirham or euros or whatever other currency you may have, that is a different commercial decision we can take. But right now there's so much demand on the crypto side that we want to focus on this niche that is there's so much demand, and this will take us years just to fill this niche for now.
Awesome. I have one last question about this. We know that in Africa there are many big crypto researchers or crypto investors. So, do you have plan to start partnership with any African real estate companies or project?
Of course. I mean, Javier and I had an AMA, for instance, where that was also one of the questions, because I think it would probably be one of the markets that would benefit most from having access to real estate, proper titles, safe, secure, transparent, and holding assets in your name. So we might have to lower the threshold and make this available at a lower price. For this, we just need to talk to the local land registry. So if we have a country that says, yes, we'll be happy to have a property with 5,000 owners, for instance, then yes, we can offer this. So that depends on the, let's say, on the flexibility of the local land registry, how many registered owners they allow. And then yes, we are very happy to look at Africa, because we view this as one of our absolute key growth markets going forward, once the sort of initial markets like Dubai have been filled.
That's awesome. Honestly, I love your project, and because I am also a civil engineering student, I love your idea and I'm very interested on it. Thanks for the answering.
Thanks for great questions, Rayan.
Appreciate the questions. Let's see. First community question we're going to take from the text here, guys, is from Paul Parker. It says, while owning an estate, would there be a limit to the total amount of the real estate investment an investor can buy, or is there no limit so long as the property is available? Viewing it from this standpoint could make it fun because there'll be room for competition.
Definitely, there'll be no limit. Actually, if you look into the Dubai real estate, you have astronomical figures. So to be realistic, we can't limit ourselves. So the limit is what people with the community will be able to afford basically to put it into this opportunity.
Exactly. And in each property, there could be one whale and 2, 3 smaller ones. It won't influence the returns because it's bought collectively and people are paid out according to their shareholdings. So there is no benefits to being larger as such or smaller. We want to pass on the cost savings to everyone equally on a pro rata basis, just depending on the share that they hold. Now, if you're a larger investor and say, hey, I like this, but I want to have something bigger, then we'd like to hear from you. And we can set up an asset class that more closely reflects that what you want to be doing. If that's for instance, a large real estate solely held by you rather than an NFT, or if that's some asset classes that you find really exciting that we haven't covered yet, then yes, do let us know and we can look at it and see if there's a commercial case for us to offer this to make sure that, your specific requirements are met.
Perfect. Thanks for the answer there, Tillman and Xavier. Just bear with me for a second. I'm on my cell phone only tonight, so I've got to go back here. Let's see. Next one is from Yutang. Tokenization of real estate assets through NFTs is becoming popular already. NFTs allows users to own the virtual properties like a plot of land. What do you think is the future of digital collectibles, and how will Vastcoin be at the forefront of the NFT innovation?
Okay, that's a good one. Yes, we are fully aware a lot of companies are going to the virtual land and mixing it with NFTs and so on. You have big brands out there going into it. And because of our experience, we prefer to be in the brick and mortar part of the real estate. I think that gives more security. Now, and with Vastcoin, the benefit is for you to have a return on real estate. And obviously, in the real world, people need a place to live, need a place to stay. So that's why we cannot ever guarantee that there's going to be X percentage of return, but chances are there will. Okay. Whereas with virtual land is more a speculation that you think it can grow. And that depends on the project itself, competition, and so on. So that's why we trust more the brick and mortar. However, as we are dealing with blockchain, we do plan to have certain NFTs, and we plan to merge that part of the NFT with the brick and mortar property out there in the market. So I believe that we can find a balance, including NFTs with real estate. A lot of it depends also on the regulatory side, right? Because whatever we offer in regards to NFTs and real estate, it has to be authorized by the supervising authority, let's say in Dubai. Now, the good thing, Dubai, they're really proactive and they're really crypto friendly. So if there's a country that will merge these two things, the brick and mortar properties together with NFTs, that'll be Dubai. So we do expect that will happen at some point, and if it will, then for sure Vastcoin will be doing that.
Perfect, Xavier. Let's see, and hopefully that answers your question that you take. Next one is coming in from the Gray Man. Says, my question as a dividend holder, will people who stake their tokens also receive dividends from the real estate investment returns? Also, can the staked tokens be used for access to the governance protocols in other ecosystem features?
Hey, Grayman, that's a good question. I think for the time being, we are not activating the staking yet, because right now we're just focused for giving the pure utility of the token, or using the pure utility of the token to buy and hold real estate. Staking is something that we can use, for instance, to disperse corporate profits and, let our community share in the profits that we generate. Or secondly, as we mentioned just a while back, that we might use this for new projects or products like, stake to rent. So there'll be some staking products going forward, but for the time being, we focus on the pure utility that you use the token to directly buy and sell real estate in your name. I hope that answers the questions that Grayman had.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Let's see. Next one's rolling in from Retrograde. What is the percent interest on the purchase of this real estate, and also can the payment be made in an annual, monthly, or any other broken down installments?
That could be something in the future once we offer things like mortgages, okay? But right now you buy the share of real estate that with the funds that you currently have. Of course, you can increase your stake, and then that will be reflected in the land registry. And the returns very much depend on the current market returns. I mean, that could be somewhere an average of around 6% per annum, and we would pay these out on a quarterly basis.
Okay, appreciate the answer there, Tillman. So, speaking on any partnerships that you currently have, do you have any that you would like to speak on now, and any that you're looking to onboard soon?
We're currently working with different corporate partners, and these corporate partners are located in Dubai. They are licensed. That's super important. At the moment, we are basically signing them up, so we can't really reveal the name, and they ask us not to until everything is on paper. As usual, that's the bureaucratic part, but definitely we do have quite a few corporate partners that they like the idea and they want to get on board. A lot of them is, and a challenge, I would say, for us, is to show these companies that are involved in real estate what are the benefits of moving towards blockchain. So we have to open their mind a little bit. Good thing, again, because they're in Dubai, they have so much exposure to blockchain and crypto with all the conferences happening. They are more and more interested in it. They want to explore that possibility. And with VAST, that's a perfect thing because we already have the infrastructure, the security for blockchain. So it's a great merger. So I think in the coming weeks, we will be able to mention the companies that we're going to partner with. But we can say is that they're involved in real estate, they're located in Dubai, and they're licensed institutions as well.
Exactly. And of course, the kind of companies where it makes absolute sense to partner is the developers, because they have exciting projects coming on the market all the time. And there we'll work with them, to source existing properties that we offer for rent, or to source off-plan properties that are maybe 1 or 2 years away from going on the market. But then we can offer those to the community at a steep discount, so that they have a lot of appreciation built into the price. Then the second part are the financial companies, as you mentioned before, companies that have just a big user base already. Insurance companies, financial portals that say, look, we want to take your product, offer it to our people, but in our name or through a partnership. And then the third one, of course, that makes absolute sense for us is the mancos, the management companies. And we have a local partner that will actually run and maintain the properties for us, collect the rents, do all the work, so that we'll make it as efficiently as possible. We have one company on the ground that will take care of the entire management aspect of the companies. So essentially the partnerships will be developers, management companies, and financial companies to start with.
Awesome. Appreciate the answer, guys. I'll grab just a couple more here, as I know it's getting about 2 hours here. Let's see. This one's from Carl TZY. If I were to buy a property on your VAST coin and rent it out to a friend or anyone, and I continue to buy more properties and I want to rent those out as well, this is possible, correct? What is the rules to this? And if I were to bring other users to buy VAST coin properties, would there be any benefit to me?
That is an interesting aspect. I think our business model for the time being is actually that you buy a property that is already let, or you buy it to let through our management company, because that way we can ensure that you have the least amount of work, and that's the easiest way. Now, if we could technically make it like this, that you have a property that you rent out yourselves, but if that's in another market, you would just add a lot of complexity to it. So it's something in the future we might look at, but for the time being, we're really focused on just getting high quality rented commercial real estate out there that people have the least amount of work for getting a stable long-term return. Regarding incentives for promoting our business or bringing more clients on board, I'm sure we can talk about it. If there's like a larger portfolio of clients, for instance, that you can bring on board, that's something we can always discuss. You can approach us through our channel and speak to us about it. If you feel you have you control a large group of investors, for instance, that you want to bring on board, that is certainly a possibility, and we reserved funds for this.
And just touching on that, we do have an ambassador program, and that is basically a person who does have a local community. Then they can approach us, and we can reach an agreement, because we do want to have ambassadors located in major cities, not only for them to bring the community, but also to educate them, teach them, answer questions, especially internationally, share with them the knowledge in their own language, all right, in their same time zone, to basically be available for them. So this is a brand new program. It's not on the website yet, but please do feel free to reach out to us, and we can talk about it.
Great answer, guys. Last one I'm going to take is from Asteroid here. His question about is your pre-sale there. Is there any other place currently that you're able to buy your VAS token, or is it only on your P2B right now?
Well, yeah, no, good question. I love it. Yes, currently it's only in the exchange that's P2B, the one that we've seen in the link. However, we're going to have another one coming, I would say, in 2 weeks, which will be a rather bigger exchange, Launchpad, that we're going to be there for 3 rounds. And after that, we have plans to go with to be listed on 2 major exchanges. Okay, that we're looking forward to. It will happen probably by end of this quarter. So the answer is currently you can only acquire VAS from one Launchpad, which is P2B, the other one coming in a couple of weeks. And by March, we're going to be listed already in different exchangers.
And you'll find that information on our social media channels as soon as we go live. Yes, so the correct answer is yes, we are adding more and more venues where you can buy it in order to give everyone in our community access. And you'll find more information on our social media channels. Do join our Telegram channel as well, and you'll have the latest updates when you can participate and how.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And the current network to use to purchase VAS coin is BTC, correct?
Actually, we have BTC, ETH, and USDT.
3 ways. Awesome. Beautiful. All right. Well, those are all the questions we're going to take tonight, guys, as we're rolling on 2 hours. And if there's anything that I did miss, I urge the community to head on over to VAS Coin's Telegram. Be sure to be part of the community and ask any questions that you have over there. I'm sure these guys will be ready to answer anything you guys got. And I want to thank you both for coming out to USA Crypto Group tonight, and I'm going to kick it back to Seattle. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it, Mike. What a handsome guy you are, Mike.
Hey, that's right.
Tillman, Xavier, Tillman, pleasure talking to you guys. And I know there's questions by Asteroid and a few other people there that, we have a community a lot of people prefer decentralization. And I know we spoke on that a bit, that you guys may be taking down the line, have like a decentralized platform. Let us know. If there's any kind of update that you have, send me a link, send Mike a link. We will post and pin as soon as you guys have updates on those, okay? Because I know P2P, honestly, I have not used it myself either. But it is something I will be investing in your project. I love you guys. You guys seem across very legit. And at the end of it all is that we are a crypto enthusiast. So we always want to see good team, good people coming through and good projects to invest in. I believe that you guys are one of those.
Thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate those words. Definitely, any update we'll be posting on social media. We have a lot of exciting things happening. And definitely, we would like to be back. Whenever we have an update, we'll let you guys know. And really appreciate this opportunity. And thank you, everybody, for staying up with us for the last 2 hours.
Exactly. Also from my side, Ken and Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'd love to come back, and there's some very exciting things in the pipeline coming up that I'm sure your community would love to learn about. So let us do these at regular intervals and then make sure that we go this journey together. And it's certainly great to have you guys on board.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to raise awareness to your Telegram room, if you guys don't mind. So I think Johnny, you can go ahead and post the Telegram room, and you guys, join the Telegram, be part of the community. Looks like they have a lot of things going on. The team is amazing. And I think we're going to do like a $25 giveaway. If you guys join there and be part of the community, just to raise awareness to your room. Is that something that you guys want us to do there, Tillman and Sevilla?
Please do.
Please do, always.
Perfect. So we'll do that. So John, you can go ahead and type the Telegram room, guys, and pin it. And you guys come in and maybe drop like a sticker or something like that. USA crypto sticker, something, so that way Mike can look at it and he can pick a winner there. So yeah, Tillman, Xavier, awesome. I love having projects like you guys coming through. You guys are legit. And you guys have assembled an amazing team. And I always invest in the people. And I think you guys are one of them. So I appreciate you guys being here again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mike. Hope to see you guys again.
All right, guys.
Likewise.
And get some rest.
Will do. Okay, guys. Have a great one. Thank you very much.
Guys, and I'll have that recorded for you guys ASAP.
That's cool. Looking forward to it.
Take care. Have a good one.
See ya.
Good morning, guys.
Thanks, Mike.